The research station hung like a fragile crystal against the infinite blackness of deep space, its metallic surface reflecting the distant pinpricks of starlight. Dr. Rowan Vance pressed her palm against the reinforced observation window, her breath creating a momentary fog on the transparent alloy. 30 years of astrophysical research had led her to this moment, a culmination of countless theories, sleepless nights, and relentless pursuit of the unknown. The quantum resonance array before her hummed with an energy that seemed to defy conventional physics. Intricate networks of superconducting circuits wove through the chamber like neural pathways, each connection carefully calibrated to detect the most minute fluctuations in space-time. Most of her colleagues had dismissed her research as academic fantasy, a wild goose chase into the realm of theoretical impossibility. But Rowan knew differently. Her fingers traced the holographic display, sliding through layers of data that told a story far more complex than anyone could imagine. The artifact, a crystalline structure no larger than a human fist, had been recovered from the edge of the Carina Nebula 3 months ago. Its composition defied every known element in the periodic table, its molecular structure a puzzle that challenged everything humanity understood about material science. Dr. Vance, a voice crackled through the communication system. Lieutenant Kai Rodriguez, her primary research assistant, sounded unusually tense. "You need to see this." Rowan turned, her lean frame moving with a practiced efficiency born of years in zero-gravity environments. The control room was a marvel of technological precision, screens displaying complex mathematical equations, quantum field simulations, and real-time sensor readings that pulsed with an almost living rhythm. "Talk to me, Kai," she said, her voice calm despite the electric anticipation building in her chest. The holographic display shifted, revealing a series of quantum signature readings that seemed to dance and pulse with an impossible coherence. The artifact was generating a signal, not just generating, but broadcasting. It was a pattern so complex, so mathematically elegant that it couldn't be random. "It's a message," Kai whispered, his fingers flying across the quantum interface. "But not like anything we've ever seen before." The signal wasn't just a simple transmission. It was a multidimensional communication that seemed to fold through different layers of reality. Mathematical equations transformed into geometric patterns, then into what looked like linguistic structures, then back into pure energy signatures. Rowan felt a chill run down her spine. This was more than a scientific discovery. This was first contact. "We need to amplify the signal," she said, her mind racing through potential protocols. First contact procedures were theoretical at best. No human civilization had ever definitively communicated with an extraterrestrial intelligence. The research station's quantum amplification systems roared to life, massive energy conduits channeling power through the delicate crystalline artifact. The entire station seemed to vibrate, the very fabric of space around them warping in subtle, almost imperceptible ways. And then silence. For 3 breathless moments, nothing happened. Then the artifact began to glow, not with light as humans understood it, but with a luminescence that seemed to emerge from between dimensions. Geometric patterns of pure energy formed and dissolved, mathematical equations writing themselves in the air like living script. "Kai," Rowan said, her voice steady, but filled with an undercurrent of profound excitement. "Prepare full quantum isolation protocols. Whatever is about to happen, it's going to change everything." Little did they know that the message was more than a communication. It was an invitation, a challenge, a doorway to a conflict that would reshape the very understanding of humanity's place in the universe. The quantum nexus had been activated, and nothing would ever be the same again. The quantum signal consumed every computational resource on the research station. Kai Rodriguez watched in a mixture of terror and awe as complex mathematical algorithms began to generate themselves, evolving beyond any programmed parameters. The artifact, now pulsing with an inner luminescence, seemed to be communicating, but not in any language humans could comprehend. "We're losing system integrity," warned Elena Reyes, the station's chief engineer, Her fingers danced across multiple holographic interfaces, attempting to contain the exponentially growing data streams. The quantum matrices are restructuring themselves. Dr. Rowan Vance stood transfixed. The artifact was no longer just an object of study. It had become a living conduit of information. Geometric patterns of pure energy transformed mathematical equations into what looked like architectural schematics, then dissolved into intricate wave functions that seemed to breathe with an alien intelligence. Suddenly, the station's primary communication array erupted with a burst of static. But this wasn't random interference. Embedded within the electromagnetic chaos was a pattern. Deliberate, structured, impossible. "It's a coordinate system," Kai muttered, his eyes wide. "But not of any stellar mapping we've ever seen. These coordinates, they're multidimensional." The research station's quantum amplification systems began to resonate at frequencies never before recorded. External sensors detected microscopic fluctuations in space-time around the station, as if reality itself was being gently, methodically stretched. Dr. Vance approached the artifact, her scientific caution warring with an overwhelming sense of curiosity. The crystalline structure seemed to respond to her proximity, its internal geometry shifting in subtle, mesmerizing patterns. "We're being invited," she whispered, more to herself than to her colleagues. Before anyone could respond, the station's quantum shield, a complex energy barrier designed to protect against radiation and micrometeorite impacts, began to destabilize. But it wasn't failing. It was transforming. The shield's molecular structure started to reconfigure, adopting patterns resonant with the artifact's energy signature. Nanoscale circuits rewrote themselves, creating pathways that defied current understanding of quantum mechanics. "Quarantine protocols," Alina shouted, reaching for emergency shutdown switches. But her hands froze midair. The artifact was projecting a field of quantum entanglement that rendered mechanical interventions impossible. It was communicating, not just transmitting, and it was making its intentions clear. An immense holographic projection erupted in the station's central chamber. Not a message, not a map, but a complex three-dimensional representation that seemed to be simultaneously a star system, a technological blueprint, and a living, breathing ecosystem. Kai's voice trembled. I think we're being shown something. A destination. A challenge." The projection revealed glimpses of alien landscapes, crystalline structures that defied gravitational logic, energy conduits that seemed to flow like liquid thought, and glimpses of entities that were neither purely biological nor purely technological. "First contact," Dr. Vance breathed. But not how anyone ever imagined. The station's systems continued to transform. External sensors began tracking a trajectory, a route through unexplored regions of space that would take them far beyond known human exploration zones. They weren't just receiving a message. They were being recruited. For what? No one yet understood. As the holographic projection stabilized, a single recurring symbol emerged. A complex geometric design that seemed to pulse with its own consciousness. It wasn't a greeting. It was an invitation. And humanity's first response would determine the fate of not just one civilization, but potentially countless others waiting in the vast, unknown darkness between the stars. The journey through uncharted space challenged everything Dr. Rowan Vance understood about interstellar travel. The research station, now transformed by the quantum artifact, moved unlike any human-made vessel. It didn't travel through space so much as it folded space around itself, creating quantum tunnels that defied conventional physics. 12 days into their unexpected voyage, the station's systems had completely integrated with the artifact. What was once a research platform had become something else entirely, a living, breathing entity that responded to thought as much as to computational commands. "We're approaching the coordinates," Kai announced, his voice a mixture of excitement and apprehension. The holographic displays showed a region of space that seemed to shimmer and pulse, as if reality itself was breathing. Alina Reyes monitored the quantum shields, Her expertise now pushed far beyond any previous scientific understanding. "The molecular restructuring is continuing," she reported. "Our hull is becoming something more than just a protective barrier." The artifact at the center of the station had become their primary navigation system, its crystalline structure now extending microscopic tendrils through the station's core systems. It wasn't just a piece of technology. It was becoming a symbiotic intelligence. Suddenly, the space around them fractured. It wasn't a visual distortion or a sensor malfunction. Reality itself seemed to split open, revealing a landscape that defied comprehension. Geometric structures that were simultaneously mechanical and organic began to emerge. Cities that breathed, technologies that thought, environments that existed in multiple states of matter simultaneously. "First contact," Dr. Vance whispered, "isn't what we expected." A communication began to form, not through sound or language, but through a direct quantum entanglement that bypassed traditional communication methods. The station's crew experienced a collective consciousness, a momentary merging of human perception with an alien intelligence that was both terrifyingly complex and profoundly beautiful. Glimpses of a civilization beyond human understanding flooded their minds. Civilizations that had long since transcended biological limitations, that viewed time and space as malleable concepts. They weren't just technologically advanced, they were fundamentally different forms of existence. The message was clear. Humanity was being tested, not as a threat, not as a potential ally, but as a variable in a cosmic equation of potential. "We're being evaluated," Kai realized, his mind struggling to process the immensity of the revelation. "Our response to this encounter will determine something far beyond our current comprehension." The alien environment around them continued to shift. What appeared to be cities transformed into living networks of energy and thought. Structures that were simultaneously communication systems, transportation networks, and living organisms pulsed with an inner light. Dr. Vance stepped forward, placing her hand on the quantum artifact. In that moment, she understood that their journey was never about exploration. It was about transformation. The station, their home, their vessel, was becoming something new. And humanity's first true test of its cosmic potential was just beginning. The quantum consciousness stripped away human perceptions of reality. Dr. Rowan Vance found herself simultaneously existing in multiple states, observer and observed, human and something more than human. The alien network revealed its true nature. It wasn't a civilization in any traditional sense, but a complex adaptive system that measured potential across different species and dimensional planes. Humanity was a calculation, a probability matrix waiting to be resolved. Kai Rodriguez experienced the most profound transformation. His consciousness expanded, perceiving layers of reality that human language could never describe. Fragments of cosmic understanding flooded his mind. Glimpses of civilizations that had risen and fallen across millions of light years, evolutionary paths that branched into unimaginable directions. The Lena Rays watched in scientific fascination as the station's molecular structure continued to evolve. What was once a human-made research platform now pulsed with an intelligence that transcended technological boundaries. Quantum filaments rewove themselves, creating systems of communication and navigation that defied every known principle of physics. The test was becoming clear. This wasn't a simple first contact scenario. It was an assessment of humanity's potential for cosmic adaptation. Memories and potential futures intertwined. The alien network showed them glimpses of potential evolutionary paths, some where humanity expanded across galaxies, others where they became extinct, and countless variations in between. Each possibility was a thread in a vast quantum tapestry. "We're being asked to choose," Dr. Vance realized, her scientific mind struggling to comprehend the magnitude of the moment. Not just as individuals, but as a species. The artifact at the center of the station pulsed with increasing intensity. Its crystalline structure began to resonate with the crew's collective consciousness, creating a feedback loop of potential and probability. Kai's consciousness touched something profound. A message, or perhaps a challenge, emerged from the quantum network. Humanity stands at a crossroads. Adaptation or stagnation, potential or limitation. The choice is neither simple nor predetermined. Quantum threads began to weave around the station's crew. Each individual's hopes, fears, and potential futures became visible, not as linear projections, but as intricate, multi-dimensional probability matrices. The alien intelligence was waiting, watching, measuring. Humanity's response would determine more than just their own future. It would impact entire networks of potential existence that stretched far beyond human comprehension. The test of species had begun. The quantum breach. The barrier between consciousness and reality shattered. Dr. Rowan Vance felt the fundamental nature of human existence twist and reshape. The quantum network challenged everything, not through violence or conquest, but through a profound challenge of evolutionary potential. Kai Rodriguez became the focal point. His mind, expanded beyond human limitations, began to comprehend the true nature of the test. Humanity wasn't just being observed. They were being given a choice that would reshape their entire species' trajectory. The alien intelligence revealed its true purpose. Across countless star systems, civilizations emerged and died. Some grew technologically, others spiritually. Many simply faded into cosmic oblivion. But humanity, they were different, unpredictable, potentially transformative. The Lina rays watched as the station's systems began to manifest impossible capabilities. Quantum entanglement allowed instantaneous communication across impossible distances. Molecular structures rewrote themselves, creating technologies that blurred the line between biological and mechanical. The test intensified. Humanity's collective potential began to manifest, not through a single individual, but through a collective consciousness that emerged from the crew's combined experiences, fears, hopes, and dreams. Fragments of potential futures cascaded around them, a humanity that spread across galaxies, not through conquest, but through understanding. Civilizations built on empathy rather than technological dominance. Evolutionary paths that transcended physical limitations. The quantum network demanded a response, not verbal, not technological, but a fundamental statement of potential. Kai became the conduit. His consciousness expanded, touching the very fabric of cosmic possibility. He understood now that this wasn't just a test of humanity, but a selection process for species with transformative potential. "We choose adaptation," he whispered. The words seemed to reshape reality itself. The station trembled, not with physical movement, but with the potential of an entire species being rewritten. Quantum filaments erupted, creating pathways of possibility that stretched beyond human comprehension. The alien intelligence watched, measured, evaluated. Humanity's response would echo across dimensions yet unimagined. The moment of transformation transcended physical reality. Dr. Rowan Vance understood now that humanity's true strength wasn't in technology or conquest, but in adaptability. The quantum network had revealed their species' most profound characteristic, the ability to evolve beyond predetermined limitations. Kai Rodriguez became the bridge, a living conduit between human potential and cosmic intelligence. His consciousness had expanded beyond individual experience, touching the collective potential of an entire species. The station, no longer a mere research vessel, became a living testament to transformation. Quantum structures that were simultaneously technological, biological, and conceptual pulsed with new possibility. The Lina rays watched as humanity's first true evolutionary leap manifested, not through genetic manipulation or technological enhancement, but through a fundamental restructuring of consciousness itself. The alien network's final test revealed itself. Humanity wasn't being judged by its current state, but by its capacity for growth, empathy, and fundamental reimagining of existence. Fragments of potential cascaded around them. Civilizations that could heal planetary ecosystems. Communication systems based on mutual understanding. Evolutionary paths that transcended physical and dimensional boundaries. The choice was never about survival. It was about potential. We understand. Kai communicated, not through words, but through a quantum resonance that encompassed hope, curiosity, and an unbreakable spirit of exploration. The station began to transform. Its molecular structure became a living network of possibility, a bridge between human experience and cosmic potential. Dr. Vance realized their journey was never about reaching a destination. It was about becoming something more. As the quantum network stabilized, a new understanding emerged. Humanity had passed the test, not through technological might, but through its fundamental capacity for growth, empathy, and reimagining possibility. The first truly cosmic civilization was born.